So I was thinking, when you use a mono synth, it doesn't always have to be quote unquote mono. Um, you can actually run two mono signals out of it. You can make it stereo. You can also make it a dry wet by running two outputs out of it. One way to do it is to use a adapter that takes a mono and converts it to two mono output plugs. You can also use your headphone jack, and in some things like the Sub 37, you actually have a volume control for the headphone jack. So if you wanted to use a mono dry and a mono wet, you have ability to be able to control the volume of the wet signal. I got this idea when I was performing live, and I wanted to be able to not have a fully delayed signal because I was using my friend's Boss pedal that only went mono through and there was no dry wet. So I realized, oh, I can plug in my line output going to the front of house and then plug my headphone into the Boss delay and then have that go out to the front of house. So I'm going to show you how to do that really simply. It's not that hard and it's a pretty simple trick, and I'm sure people already know about this, but I'm sure people don't. So let's get to it. So primarily with a mono synth, you have the line out here, and a lot of times you have a headphone out. So technically this is a dual mono or stereo setup. In some things like the Sub 37, I actually have an independent volume knob for the headphones, so this would have to be matched. But in this one, the volume for the line out and the headphones are exactly the same, so I don't have to do any matching at all. So if you follow the cabling here, you'll see there's a blue cable. This blue cable is going into my Zoom H6, or if you're playing live, the front of house, or if you're going in your interface, channel 1. Then you can see the headphones here is coming out. This one is going into the MF drive, and it's going out of the MF drive. You can see this silver here. It's going into the Avalanche Run, going out of the Avalanche Run into input 2, and same thing if you have a stereo for front of house, that would be 2. So theoretically we have a stereo setup. Two monos sending the same thing. So I'll just play something, then you can hear it. Both of these are turned off right now. So these are two separate mono inputs, and all you need to do is affect one side, and that one side is coming out of here and going into channel through two, these two guys. All right. So if I just turn on the MF drive, we can already hear a difference. We can hear some stereo width, which is really nice. And then I can go further. And then you can affect that. If you can see here, it got a little unbalanced when I started filling with it. So you can just play around, and then you'll just have the tone knob is really great for changing the stereo field. We'll turn this guy on. So right now it's all fading and repeating on the right side. So if I turn this mix up, the other great thing is on the circuit mono station, I have a high pass, and on the MF drive, I have low pass, so then I can cut them off at the pass. So you can see this is easy. There's no fancy tricks. So you can turn a mono synth into a mono stereo synth.